Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
He said, you need to give your name. We packed up all our stuff and we were walking off. And she said to my husband, you need to get someone to look after your 7-year-old. She came up to me and said, I'm going to arrest you, and she cuffed me. And she said to my husband, you need to get someone to look after your 7-year-old because you're next.
Lincoln J for Rebel News here in London, England. Now I'm covering the Fight the Fines cases here in the United Kingdom. Would you ever think you'd be put in handcuffs, thrown in the back of a police car, just for simply taking your family to the beach for some exercise? I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's exactly what happened to Joe Mannering, who was on the receiving end of a £200 fine for doing just that. Take a listen to Joe's story.
So it was a hot, sunny day, and we decided, myself and my husband and my 7-year-old, that we'd come down here and throw a ball around and get some exercise, as it's really important, and we thought we'd enjoy the sunny days. We were accosted by 2 police officers saying that came straight over to us and said that we are committing COVID crimes against Regina. There were other people sitting around on walls and on the beach, but they came straight over to us. And at this point, I was quite incensed and just thought, what's happening? Why are they doing this? We're just exercising. Myself and my husband said we are exercising. That's what we're allowed to do. And we were told specifically that this had to be continuous swimming, cycling, running or walking. That is exactly what they said, and that we couldn't do this. That we couldn't throw our ball around. We had to be continuously swimming, cycling, running and walking. I was just so incensed and upset that they'd ruined our day. And there were so many people around looking and watching. I felt embarrassed and ashamed. And I just said, no, we're doing what we're allowed to do. Why are you doing this? Why are you coming over and bullying us? Why leave us alone? To which she carried on, was calling for backup. We said, you need to give your name. We packed up all our stuff and we were walking off. And she said to my husband, you need to get someone to look after your 7-year-old. She came up to me and said, I'm going to arrest you, and she cuffed me. And she said to my husband, you need to get someone to look after your 7-year-old because you're next. To which my husband was saying, this is pathetic, this is embarrassing. How are you doing this to a mum who's just playing ball with a child? And she said, I don't care. You know, I was surprised, and, you know, I sort of flailing around a little bit with my arms because I was just like, what's happening? She just took me by surprise and, yeah, just cuffed me. So once she'd put me in the cuffs, she brought me along down here. There was loads of people watching, loads of onlookers, people videoing, bundled me into the car, gave me a £200 fine and then de-arrested me and let me go, basically. And, you know, this is the state of Britain as it is at the moment. I just felt like I was mistreated, like they were really rough with me, treated me like a criminal, just taking away all of my human rights. I just felt so embarrassed, just ashamed, incensed. I just felt like, what have we done wrong? I haven't done anything wrong, and I'm just being treated like an absolute criminal. I feel really sad about the state of Britain today. I think that our freedoms have been taken away from us, our human rights. You know, if I can't exercise with my son on the beach, throwing a ball around, what has happened to this country? I think the lockdowns are draconian. I think there's been so much damage. People have lost their businesses. Mental health is through the roof. Suicides are up 200%. You know, when are we going to say is enough? This has been a year. You know, and then I just think it's so unfair. I think we need to stand up more. We need to stand up for what's right, and we need to fight together.
So that was Joe's story. Luckily, she reached out to us at Rebel News, and we put our legal team on the case. Here's what they had to say.
I'm Daniel Burke. I'm Joe Mannering's solicitor. Her case is being supported by Rebel News. Joe was walking on the beach in Clacton with her husband and 7-year-old son and throwing a ball to each other as part of their daily exercise. Police officers attended and told her that what she was doing didn't constitute daily exercise because that had to be continual movement, such as running or swimming or cycling. That's actually incorrect. The police were incorrect on that. There's no requirements for exercise to be continual or to be of a certain form, and certainly for a 7-year-old throwing a ball could constitute exercise in our view. She was understandably upset because this took place in front of a young child. After becoming upset, she was handcuffed and put into the back of a police car, and they were told that they would need to find childcare arrangements because the father, who had also become upset, was threatened with arrest too. And it was only after she provided her personal details that Joe was released from the back of the police car back to her son, who was obviously very scared by what he had seen. We have been told that Joe will receive a fine, but hasn't yet received that. If she does get that, we will of course challenge it. We've written a very robust letter complaining about the attitude of the officers and pointing out that they were simply incorrect on their interpretation of the law. Simply as an aside, the beach to where they went to throw a ball to each other was 1.1 miles away from their home, so it's less than a 20-minute walk with a young child. So we will continue to represent Joe in this matter.
So you just heard from the legal team. It seems like we've got a real case on our hands here. It's thanks to your support that we're able to provide a lawyer to help fight back against these fines. If you or anyone you know has received a fine that has anything to do with COVID-19, please don't pay that fine. We'll get you a lawyer and we'll fight it for you. For Rebel News, I'm Lincoln J. If you want to help fight back against these unjust coronavirus fines, please donate via the website at fightthefines.co.uk. And if you or anyone you know is at the receiving end of one of these fines, go to the website, fill out a form, don't pay that fine, we'll get you a lawyer and we'll fight it for you.